jungle. In the early 1980s, an Israeli adventurer named Yossi Ginsberg travels to Bolivia planning to journey into the heart of the Amazon rainforest. He is looking for adventure and to meet new tribes and civilizations. There he meets Marcus Stamm, a Swiss schoolteacher, and his friend Kevin Gale, an American hiker and avid photographer. The three are staying in La Paz at an Israeli community hostel. Yossi is out in the market one day where a stranger asks if he is an American. Yossi replies, no, during conversation. The Austrian stranger, Karl Ruprechter, claims the existence of an indigenous tribe in the jungle that they should go see. Karl says he knows the jungle and he is friends with the tribe. Yossi, excited about the prospect of exploring the uncharted jungle and meeting undiscovered peoples like the Toromonas, chooses to believe him. He heads back to the apartment to convince Marcus and Kevin to come along. Skeptical of the stranger and his story, they refuse. Yossi continues to press them until they ultimately agree to go with them. The next day, the trio meets Karl in a shop while he is gathering supplies for the hike. Kevin is a photographer and is excited by the prospect of filming rare tribes that will get him straight into the National Geographic. November 1981, Yossi, Marcus, Kevin and Karl hike through the jungle for several days. They encounter heavy rains. They make it to a village called Asfriamas, where it is apparent Karl knows the villagers. They spend the day in the village and stay overnight, then head back into the jungle the next morning. At night, they cook and eat monkey meat. Marcus starts having trouble walking and discovers his feet are full of bloody sores. By now, Kevin and Yossi are tired of Marcus's complaining. Marcus is slowing them down and they need to be out of the jungle before the rainy season starts. Yossi, Kevin and Karl discuss how they all should proceed. Karl wants to leave the three while he goes and gets help, but Kevin and Yossi disagree with that plan. At this point, Marcus walks up and Kevin proposes building a raft to navigate downriver so all of them can stay together. They build the raft and set off down the river. They hit some rapids, barely making it through. Karl gets upset at Kevin for taking control on the raft, floats the raft to shore, and says he is going hunting. Kevin had noticed Karl's fear of water and deduces that Karl cannot swim. Yossi then goes to find Karl so he will not abandon them. Marcus and Karl decide to abandon the journey and make the 3-day hike back to civilization, where they can then return to La Paz. Karl had decided not to get on the raft again, and Marcus joined him as he didn't like how Kevin berated Marcus all through the trek. Meanwhile, Yossi and Kevin continue their journey downriver until their makeshift raft is destroyed in the rapids. Yossi is washed away by the river, leaving Kevin behind. Without a knife, tools, or any kind of survival training, Yossi must improvise shelter and forage to survive. He manages to salvage his backpack from the river. He begins to give up hope after losing all sense of direction, wondering if he will survive the jungle. Soon the rains arrive, and Yossi is more than miserable. He puts notes all across his trail just in case Kevin is following him. Yossi is attacked at night by a jaguar, but he is able to fend him off with an ignited lighter fluid spray. Yossi also has a huge bulge in his forehead which he spears to find a worm living inside it. He drains the blood and sutures the wound with fire ants. He has to eat raw eggs for nutrition. He reaches a settlement, Curry Playa, which he was targeting on his map, only to find it deserted and nobody living there. The next settlement, Rurrenabaque, is several days of hiking away. Yossi has a rapidly worsening foot wound. Yossi reaches the river again and starts tracking it. Yossi imagines finding an abandoned native woman in the jungle. He feels responsible for her, and protecting her gives him new strength to carry on and find a way out and survive. He falls into a swamp. He is able to climb out by grabbing a tree branch. By now, Yossi is severely malnourished and has wounds all over his body. Yossi attempts to build a raft again but has no energy left. Meanwhile, Kevin is rescued by people from a nearby town, who take him to Rurrenabaque, 120 miles from Yossi's location, Curry Playa. At Rurrenabaque, Kevin calls for the help of the local authorities to find Yossi. They fail to find Yossi via a plane flyover, but Kevin believes that Yossi is alive. Kevin ropes in the help of the local boat pilot, Tico, to search for Yossi. After finding a sign across river where Yossi make Asan Yi so that when Kevin come he will find him, but when Kevin come he see the sign but Kevin was not there, he lose his hope and start thinking that Yossi is dead and leave the area when they start the boat engine. Yossi awake and starts shouting, but due to the louder sound of boat engine, Kevin is not be able to hear his sound. Kevin one last time turn his face back to see the jungle and he see Yossi standing over there. Kevin start shouting and take the boat there again to save his friend. Yossi is weakened after spending 19 days in the jungle. Kevin takes him to Ruranabak. The epilogue reveals that Carl lied about the hidden tribes, was known to rope backpackers into dangerous treks, and was wanted by the authorities. He and Marcus never returned to La Paz and were never seen again. This movie is based on the real-life conversation with Marcus, and this film was dedicated to Marcus's memory.